For all who do such things, do what? Have a large weight and a small weight. I'll explain in a minute. All who behave unrighteously are an abomination to the Lord your God. God values integrity. Flip back to Proverbs now so we can open this up. Here's what he says, Proverbs 11, verse number 1. He says, dishonest scales are an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Now, if we remember back what was happening in Deuteronomy, God was calling them into the land, and this is Moses' final word. This is before they cross over the Jordan under Joshua. And the way that God wanted them to conduct business was with integrity. He wanted their lives to be built on integrity. When they were buying or when they were selling, he did not want them to take the large weight and the small weight, and depending upon what they were doing. Oh, if they're buying, they put a light weight on it. They get a better deal, right? Okay? And then if they were selling, oh, yeah, they put a heavier weight on this, so that, again, that they're making more of a profit. God wanted them to use a just weight. If living in an agrarian culture, maybe let me back that off a little bit. An agricultural society where farming, where spices, where things were traded in open form. Even if you go to Israel today and you're in the old city and you go through the markets and you'll see all these different spices and vegetables and all of these different things around Israel. And the buying and the selling, God wanted it to be just. How does that transfer to us? Well, the idea is that God doesn't want us involved in dishonest business dealings. He doesn't want you and I to add or to take away, to rip off, to try to barter for a particular thing that I'm trying to get rid of and inflate it to be something else, and people get it down the road, and all of a sudden the wheel falls off of it. Oh, you told me this was a great car and you had no problems, and they can't even get it to the end of the block without it catching on fire. That would be dishonest. Would you agree? It would be a lack of integrity there. And so, and think about how this applies, and think about how this comes back home. That people pray for a blessing, and yet they're acting in opposition to God and what God says about integrity. And it's the reason that their prayers are never answered around this area. God, prosper me in work and give me a raise and all this stuff. Listen, if you're lacking integrity, what does God say about a dishonest scale? It's an abomination to him. You are at odds with God. And guess what's going to happen? Nothing. You're not going to get that prospering that you want. You're not going to make progress in your job. And this becomes something that's so practical and so important that you and I would understand, because he doesn't want us to lack integrity.